Voters in Ohio, meanwhile, overwhelmingly rejected a proposal to legalize marijuana in their state. The bill was defeated in nearly 2-to-1 vote. Ohio would have been the most populous state to legalize marijuana. Right now, only 4 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized recreational pot. Elections Director Anthony Salvanto is here, joins me now to talk about this. Anthony, thanks for coming by. So what went wrong in Ohio? No-hio, as we've been saying on our banners.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say its chances went up in smoke.
Yes, or it's in the weeds.
Yeah, well, we don't get too far in the weeds of policy here, but it seems like it was about how they set it up and not even so much about support for medicinal or recreational marijuana, because this measure would have set up a very few growers who were able to produce it, and it looks like people rejected that monopoly as much as the measure itself, because a similar measure on the same ballot that said no monopolies also passed.
Right.
So it's really more about the setup, it seems.
So it wasn't. So was it a surprise to you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know, nationwide support for use of marijuana, allowing it to become legal, has actually been on the increase. You know, we go back in the polls all the way to the late 70s on this, when it was overwhelming no. But in recent years, it's climbed up to what's now its all-time high
Nice.
of over 50% supporting it. But what's really important, too, is that there is a distinction between medicinal use and recreational use. And we find in the polls that medicinal use gets much, much higher support, actually over 8 and 10. So while only a few states have made it okay recreationally, you actually see more states also making it okay medicinally.
Then we saw this question asked to the Democratic candidates running for president, Bernie Sanders seeming to indicate that he, after a pause, that he would probably support more measures like this. Hillary Clinton saying we need to do more research, we need to do more study. But as you point out, nationally, voters, people across the country are increasingly saying that this is something that they're in support of. I wonder, though, for a state like Ohio, what's the next issue for them with this? Is this dead and done?
I'm not sure about Ohio. It might, and as in any state, these things can always come back in a different form, in a different setup.
Right.
You'll start to see, I think, a lot of states test this. There's talk of a new one in California coming up for 2016.
Right, yes, California, that's right.
Right, you know, get an initiative on the ballot there. You know, it's important. You mentioned Bernie Sanders, you mentioned Democrats, etc. There are partisan splits on this. Democrats tend to be more in favor of it than Republicans. It also goes to age, and you know, a lot of Bernie Sanders support tends to be younger than Hillary Clinton's.
Right.
You know, young people support this in much larger numbers than older folks, so that might have something to do with it. You even look forward then to California. That's a much younger electorate than Ohio is. So that part of the dynamic that's in play too.
So we could see more states agreeing to legalize, or at least voting to legalize marijuana, both recreationally and medicinally.
I think it'll come up. I think it'll continue to come up. With a national trend towards at least permitting medicinal use, then I think there'll probably be impetus for people to try this out.
All right, Anthony Salvanto. I got no more puns left in me. And,
hey, look, you asked some good blunt questions.
Yes. Oh man,
you know,
that's really good. I am not witty like that. That's really. I like that one. I'm going to keep that one in my little bag.
Let's roll up this segment and be done.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, bye.